Alone in the Dark. Hey everybody, and welcome to an extremely rushed Rutskarn's Horror Attic, recorded on Halloween Day, likely hours before it goes up, because I've been, myself, alone in the dark for what feels like years, but was actually just a few days without electricity or internet. So the themes of this game resonate with me, one might say. But there's another reason I want to cover this game, which is that I don't think this game gets 1/10 as much credit as it really should in the zeitgeist. Let me break it down for you this way. This game that came out in 1992, 4 years before Resident Evil. Everything you've ever heard about Resident Evil, like, oh, it was revolutionary, it did this. This game beat it to the punch. Beat it to the punch right into the face of a obstreperous zombie. I have always had a fondness for this game because it was the sort of thing that, like, I grew up with my parents, watching my parents play it. I'm going to skip that because we're about to see it anyway. I grew up watching my mother in particular play these games and beat all of them, which, as you'll see, is not as mean a feat as you might think. So we're going to begin a new game here, and we have already character selection. I really appreciate this. I think that there are some very minor differences in the gameplay, but we're going to go with Edward Carnby here on the right. Now, those of you who follow, like, Matt McMuscles or just, are aficionados of extremely mediocre 2000s video games, will know that there was a reboot of the Alone in the Dark franchise, which styled Edward Carnby as, like, a shoulder hair, dark, scar-faced, generic video game man. And I think it's really funny that they had to make this, like, nebbish 1920s, like, ginger private detective dude into that just to, like, sell their new franchise. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and begin here.
On my door, a dull brass plate says Private Detective. The few friends
Quite
a
lot of story in this game, so we're just gonna let this play here.
The others call me the Reptile.
I don't know why.
I don't care to think what my banker calls me. These days, I leave my letters unopened. Bills and threats to send in the receivers just ruin my day.
So I have to say that this game has above average voice acting for an early 1990s video game. As we may get to see some choicer samplings later on.
When an antique dealer called Gloria Allen contacted me, I slipped into my best shirt, holstered my .38, and got to her shop as
Remember that
fast
.38
as I could.
here.
I was expecting something sordid. Blackmail, probably.
Now, I will say that I am as much of a fan of the tropes as anybody else, but it'd be nice if at some point after 1992 we could have gotten a pseudo-Lovecraftian horror game where you don't play as this character specifically.
Boy, was I wrong. What I was asked to do was visit a property called Dorsetto and find a piano in the loft.
Okay, I'm going to skip through the next few screens because we don't really learn too much more here. Place is abandoned. A lot of money for it. Previous owner had hanged himself. It was ruled a suicide.
My report will be ready in a couple of days.
And that's it. We're feeling very cocky about it. And look at this. For 1992, this is a lovely example of a cutscene here. We've got the 3D model of the car sort of zooming along here. We've got the rich soundscape of frogs and bayou. And we're about to have a nice little shot here. See, it's simple, but it's very charming, isn't it? Especially given the limitations of the technology. Alright, and here's what we're about to see here. It will require a little bit of explanation on the part of anybody watching this video, which is I'm going to approach the house here, and my character is about to walk through almost the entirety of the manor. See? Yeah, see, it's just like, it's classic, right? Little shots here. I say classic, but, nobody been doing this kind of thing. So it really found a way to evoke all of these horror tropes which feel timeless within this medium. So yeah, we're about to walk through this whole manor here, and my hands are off the controls. They decided they wanted to start you off in the attic, and they want you to have a sense of the manor's layout, but they didn't want you to muddy things up by actually having control during this portion. I have mixed feelings about this, but again, we're not going to linger with it too much. This is very much a seminal work. I have to say, it's actually somewhat tense, as like you're kind of watching the slowly inch its way along here. Pretty much everything we're seeing here is going to try to kill us at some point, so gonna have to get used to that. Yep, just wander past the statue with the blurry texture behind it. I'm sure that's not important. Never pay attention to weird textures in an adventure game. It's meaningless. Here we're approaching this clearly kind of suspicious flooring, but oh, it seems to be fine. Okay, fair enough. Past here. Yep, really are just going through the entirety of the manor. Look at that chunky, thick ass. Okay. So we're spawning in here at I have control. Here's the deal. Tank controls, and they do, you know, a pretty passable effort of having us actually turn around. I can move backwards and forwards. I can hit escape, and this brings up an actions menu. I can toggle between fighting, opening, searching, closing, pushing, etc. And if I hold down space, I can go into fight mode, where I can give kicks and punches. If I had a gun, forwards and backwards would shoot, and left and right would turn me. And I can also turn it to open search, in which case I do the tickling motion that indicates that I am messing with something. And I appreciate that. I think probably because it synergizes with the push, I inch forward, so I can just kind of look like a geriatric fellow looking for his glasses. And when you run into something you can take, you just kind of take it. I'm going to go ahead and save my game over my old save here. And the reason why will become apparent pretty quickly. This game is... I'm just going to get it out of the way now. My spouse played this game for a little while, and she's a Bloodborne aficionado. The combat in this game is most certainly harder than Bloodborne. Oh, that's the combat music. Remember how everybody's talking about how awesome it is in Resident Evil when dogs would just jump through the windows? No game had ever done that before. Okay. So I snapped off a little kick here, and I can move in. So all of my attacks have these cumbersome animations, and enemies often animate faster. Range and, like, lining up your shots is actually deceptively difficult. I was practicing before this video, just so it would not be like me getting killed 10 times in a row by the first monster, but it's very easy to die here. Not possible, easy to die here. And once he dies, the creature disappears into the smoke here. Now, this game came out before the era of, like, having adventure game protagonists when they beat a monster for those times say something like, "What was that thing?" I'm fine with this, frankly. To be completely honest with you, I've never felt like I needed it. Oh, look like that silent trapdoor opening. And, oh, a zombie just brought in by a theater tech here. And I'm just going to drub on him. I love the snap of that kick. And I'm just gonna kick him off camera here. Fortunately, the zombies are very easy. They trudge so slowly that they bring themselves in range of your kick between frames of animation before they get a chance to attack. So as long as you spam kick... Yep, and I just killed him. As long as you spam kick, zombies are inconsequential. The only issue is those goddamn dogs. They really are a pain in the ass. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and search this area. This is very much an adventure game at heart. This game is less about fighting and more about searching, finding clues, puzzles. Puzzles like use gun on zombie. No, the ammo is very limited. Huh, funny. It's such a good choice to have guns be such ineffective, poorly controlled things with limited supplies of ammunition. They should invent an entire genre around this kind of gameplay, and then credit it to something that doesn't come along until years later. Just a little bit salty here. Alright, so I can, as you can see, go through my inventory. I've got a book, which I'm not going to read through all of it, but it is voice-acted. Rifle and an oil lamp. The book is basically the story of Perseus defeating the Medusa with a polished shield. I'm sure this isn't going to be relevant anywhere. And there's a run in the game, but it's so fiddly. You have to basically, like, there we go. It's fiddly both in the sense that it's difficult to make it happen with the controls, and in the sense that it looks so awkward. It's kind of like a hustle. And I can fiddle with that thing to make it rock, but otherwise can't really do anything with it. Did I... Okay, that's right. I need to loot this thing, I think. Really good sound design. I gotta get a... Looks like basically just a quilted blanket. And we're off. And actually, you can't quite see it, but I have to go around there. All of the climbing up staircases and such is automated, and then you get control once they're down on the landing again. And movement is relative to your character, so it doesn't really happen too much where you do the thing where you're running and you accidentally change directions because of a camera switch. But you do the thing you just saw then where you run into something which has a can animation attached to it and do the can animation even though you hadn't actually meant to yet. Nothing important. Let's see if there's anything over here. Oil can. Okay, I can use that on the lantern to get light here. This game has a limited inventory. There's not a lot of inventory space. And honestly, I don't know what the point of that mechanic is, because, sometimes you just, like, it's not like most of the items in this game are optional, like, oh, this could help you in a sticky situation. No, almost everything you can find in this game is like a puzzle solution. So it just kind of means that you need to, like, put stuff in a room somewhere and remember where to find it. I don't know. I certainly accept that it's plausible that our friend here, Edward, can only, like, have... Oh! Look at that zombie. Just insinuating himself into frame there. And I gotta go ahead and switch to fight here. I'm gonna save my guns for the fucking dog things. Get the fuck back. It just really means that you need to find, like, a room somewhere where you can stockpile all of your clues so you can pick them up again when you find the puzzle that they go to. The puzzles in this game, we'll see a few of them, they're not terribly difficult. Some of them are slightly unintuitive, but if you've played adventure games, I think even by 1992, the tropes were well enough established that people were able to figure them out. I honestly could not tell you which does more damage, the punches or the kicks. I just assume it's the kicks. But I am not... I'm not an expert in this game. I cannot play Alone in the Dark at EVO. And I actually don't want to be in this room yet. I want to backtrack into the other one. Oh, very careful here. And... going to... Alright, so... if I loot this area here... So this is locked, and, you just know when you find a locked chest, it's going to be forever until you actually find the key again. Unless for some reason the key is just in this unlocked roll top. Oh, well, that's nice. And, now, a good adventure game which has clues you can miss leaves redundant hints. And in this case, you have the painting over there on the top left, which is the, like, Medusa being reflected in the mirror scene. Just so you really, like... Oh. It's one of them games. There's only two kinds of adventure games. The one where you need to go into your inventory to get a key and use it, and the one where you use it automatically. They still make both kinds, but this was very much the latter kind. Alright, now, I'm going to save here. I'm going to save a few times and then deliberately provoke a failure just to show something off. So, Cavalry Saber, right? Very possible to break the Cavalry Saber. And we're gonna load. And now we're gonna get out of here. Oh! Jump scare! And I think you're supposed to use the Cavalry Saber here just to, like, give you a tutorial, but again, Zambambos are exceptionally weak, so it's really not worth it. I'm just gonna fall him into the corridor here to make this a little faster. Shoot. I do appreciate that you can back up faster than the zombies. Really, I'd say that zombies are the perfect enemies to teach you about this combat system, and it would have been great for them to be just the first enemy, the only enemies you fight for a while, but then it just blows its load by having a fucking dog gremlin thing jump through the window of the attic. And that's like the hardest monster that I can remember off the top of my head. Like, I'll run into a few more of those before we're done here for the day, and we'll see if I can handle all of them as well as I handled that other one. Frankly, I'm not confident. Alright, so combat music stopped, so let's poke around here. Nothing important over here. And sometimes it's difficult to tell where you can go off camera and where you can't, and it's fairly common in this kind of like fixed camera angles 90s adventure game. I wouldn't say it's worse or better than the average specimen of the genre. And have a vase here. And if I look at my actions here, I can throw the vase. But interestingly, when you throw something, I usually don't throw it like in an arc. Throw basically means like if you choose that you're gonna throw something, I should use my old cam in the lamp. You actually just kind of drop it at your feet. Okay. I love this shot. Love, love, love that shot. Oh. Alright. Love that noise you make when... Love that noise you make when you get hit. Oh, fuck. I thought I'd killed him. Let's finish him off with a cavalry saber. Oh. I think he got a good hit on me there. 2 hit points! Jesus, son of a jumping Christ. I'm gonna save, because I think that we should just do this an honest run. I'm not gonna save scum or anything. Oh, and see, it trained you with the last door to make you think that there's gonna be a zombie behind here. But in actuality, nothing. I like that. You know, this game's playing a little bit dirty with the camera angles, and I think that that's not just permissible, I enjoy it. Okay, so... have to put away the saber here so I can start searching. First aid kit. Excelente. So I'm going to open up the first aid kit, and inside is a flask labeled J and H. Yeah, it looks like a cologne. Just take a big swig of Jupe Hom to stabilize me. But I imagine it's supposed to be like hooch or something. Or possibly it's a reference to some kind of patent medicine that I'm not aware of. I don't know. I'm going to save here for a second, just to demonstrate. Remember how I mentioned that floor looks really sketchy, and so it's really tense when you walk onto it and don't die? Oh man, gotta love this. This is not the first Lovecraftian video game. The first one I'm aware of, I can't entirely remember the name. I think it's called like The Creeping Horror or something. It was an Infocom game. But this might be the first Lovecraftian graphic adventure that at least certainly the first one that I'm aware of. I'm gonna drop that just so I don't have to mess around with my inventory later on. And if I go ahead here, oh, find a landing with a suspicious but still monster in it. That's right. I forgot. I had to break the vase, and inside is a key. Now, that's actually kind of an outside-the-box puzzle solution. I respect that. I think it probably would be very frustrating for a lot of people, but, you know, this is the era where you didn't just have to sell your game, you had to sell the strategy guide, right? Alright, and we get 2 small mirrors for our trouble, which we are promptly going to employ on those. I don't honestly, frankly, see what the connection between these and Gorgons is supposed to be, besides, you know, they're both scary. But, yeah. And... gonna just put this here. Oh, nope, I need to be right up in it, and... Let's just appreciate that noise for a second. That horrible, horrible noise. Good stuff. Okay, moving on. And now we have made it to the second level. And... believe it or not, this was fairly eerie at the time. I was also a child. I mean, I was about 1 year old when it came out, but when I played it, I was like 5 or 6. Okay. So I saved because obviously I have to... Come on. You have to, right? Okay, so this is... this door I think is locked, and if it isn't, I still don't want to go through it right now. Right now, we want to... So this leads downstairs, and this will lead us skulking around the back rooms. So... like the claustrophobic angles. Now again, tell me that this does not remind you of Resident Evil. Like, yeah, tell me with a straight face that, like, you don't think that there's some credibility to the idea that Resident Evil was very strongly influenced by this game and its presentation. Like, that hallway in particular, I feel like the angle used and everything just really kind of evoked that same sense. Now, this notebook, this is an example of some of the juicier gobbets of voice acting this game has to offer. This is the Madman's Diary TM. This is the audio log that talks about how shit went wrong. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's like honestly about 10 minutes of voice acting. And when I say it's good voice acting, like, I mean it's very entertaining. I'll just let you see it. We'll talk about it afterwards. Oh, hang on a second, dog thing. I need to show everybody the video game. I need to show everyone the video game.
Diary of Jeremy Hartwood. September 27th, 1924. I have decided to keep this diary. Too many inexplicable events have taken place.
Okay, I'm going to switch ahead a little bit.
December 16th. Dear God, I have found the knife. It was hidden here, and what I have learned fills me with apprehension. February 7th, 1925. The Dark Man, that is what I call him, has revealed his true face to me. March 11th. My poor knowledge of Greek and Latin is a serious handicap to my reading. March 30th. How ironic! The cave my father sought for so many years is here, beneath the house. Wait, the butler discovered a crack in the cellar wall. March 31st. I explored the caverns in a dream. The Dark Man came with me. Strangely, I felt almost well. How can I describe what I saw? No. What words are capable of explaining such evil? A curse is on Derceto. From the foundations to the very rooftop, I can no longer struggle, let alone eradicate the evil that grips the house. The end is very near, I can feel it. I have taken the decision to... May he who finds this diary pray for my soul.
Now, professional voice acting was a very different game in the early 90s in video games. What was a good performance then really does not, like, would not be sought by any company today. Even just the style of acting was very different because, like, you're not going to be matched to a face, especially. You're often recording on bad equipment. Most of the time, you're sort of an amateur, so what sells it for me is how much he leans into it. I'm gonna die here, because this is a really awkward angle. Yep. Oh, I can't believe I managed to do that. I'm really happy that I haven't died thus far, although I have 6 hit points currently, so, you know, outlook not good. I think there's some hit points around here somewhere. And that's it. That's all this in this room that I can remember is just that diary. So basically, just come here, get some lore, get attacked. All right. Now, you may have gathered that this is, as I said, as an early Lovecraftian game, this game goes in some weird directions. For example, bizarre bathroom monster. You can go in there and you can get a healing item from the cabinet, and then there's like I think a pitcher for water. And I don't, off the top of my head, remember if there's any way to kill this thing. You really just gotta grab what you need and then get the fuck out. So that's what I'm doing here, because I don't want to die. Let's see, Yep, just a little Drakkar Noir to steady the nerves and ease my suffering. Drop that in the middle of the hallway, where I'm going to get pissed at myself for doing so immediately. And then move on with our guided tour of the Derceto house. Now, I have not previously heard the surname Derceto. Maybe it's very common in your area. But to me, when I heard it, it had an awkward enough phonotactic structure that I found myself wondering if it's like one of those names you find a lot in early video games where it's not a real name, it's just kind of like an anagram or something that sounds enough like a real name that they decided to go with it. That kind of corny joke is not very popular anymore. So here's what we're going to do. You can look at this painting, you'd think you're going to examine it. I'm going to save here and just going to continue on. And, yep, just eerie-ass paintings. Oh no! Heat-seeking hatchets. And what you are, of course, meant to do is... I don't know how you're meant to do this without first getting hatcheted in the face, but... just cover that shit up. Nobody wants to see it. And then I can proceed along my merry way. Now, if I go on any further, another painting of a Native American is going to shoot me with an arrow. That's not a joke. That is exactly what happens. And I can instead... Oop, I need to light the lamp. Oh my gosh, did I neglect to pick up matches? I think I did. Okay, well, let's just nope out of there, I guess. I don't think I need anything in the library right now, so we'll just continue on with our tour of the house, but... And I think there's some matches downstairs, so I don't need to double back and figure out where I missed them. Oh, I think there's some in here, actually. Oh. Oh, no, this is also a dark room. That's right. My mistake. So I'm going to come back to that. God damn it. There's one more area I can poke through before I have to backtrack. And where am I supposed to exit, you might be wondering? This way. Yeah, that's a really bad choice of camera angle right there. One of the worst, if not the worst in this video game. Because it oh, god damn it. I nudged the staircase on my way past it. Now I have to climb the whole thing. Great. Well... maybe we'll get another juicy close-up of Edward Carnby's face. It's pretty good stuff. Oh, nope, just the back of his head. Yeah, I respect that they didn't have a lot of resources to work with, but I wonder if they could have come up with a better way to do the eyes than just putting dots in the middle of triangles. Alright, that's the stairs down, so let's go through here. And... I'm gonna save here just in case I fuck up. It's pretty easy to do. Grab that gramophone. And I want to avoid disturbing that ghost in the middle there, which you may not have even really noticed. Box of cartridges, great. Means I can use the rifle again without fussing too much. Okay. And... photo of Jeremy with his niece. Take a fireplace poker, take a matchbook, and we're out of here. And what happens is, if you bother her, she, like, turns into, like, a giant cloud thing and savages you. Yeah, may as well show it. Let's wake Grandma. Yep. Oh, she's up from her nap, and she's pissed. Yep. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Trying to run here. Well, I guess you'd have to call that a Lovecraftian horror, because it's not really clear what else the fuck it was supposed to be. I'm almost tempted to end the video here, because this is an awesome game over. Which, that's what this is. It's a game over. I think, especially for the time, unparalleled. I struggle to think of any game over screen before the 1990s not involving a Guitar Warrior that was this cool. Alright, and we're going to reserve that save game, and we're just going to poke on like a little bit more, because I think this is a really cool game, and I want to show it off. So the library just has a ghost that follows you around. We're going to give that a miss. But, I am... Let's see... Okay, I know where I want to end this. Yep. So, two things. We're gonna do two things, and I'm gonna skip a lot of like things you can pick up in the environment and such like, because I just want to get straight to them. We're gonna go past here and into this room. And I'm going to search this coal, and I find a box of shoes. I open up the box of shoes. Yeah, I get a revolver. Except, wait a minute. Wasn't I supposed to have a 38? Where the fuck did that go? Also, look how deliberately he has to take aim. Alright, 2 shots. Pop, pop. Motherfuckers drop. Alright, now you must be thinking, with such a powerful weapon... Oh, pot of soup. Yeah, alright, let's do this. Yuck! Some human flesh! I have to say that while I would probably say yuck if I'd found out I'd just eaten human flesh, or at least I would be thinking some variation of yuck, I probably would not be able to recognize it in cold soup on sight. So really, Edward has a lot of explaining to do. Gonna go out here into the garden. And... put away my pistol. Find an arrow. Oh, I'm out of arrows. Oh no! Spiders! And you can still see them there, and I think they're actually gonna follow me. Nope. That's as far as they go. Well, on that note, happy Halloween, everybody, and thanks for watching. This game's on Good Old Games, along with Alone in the Dark 2 and Alone in the Dark 3, and there's also like a demo on here, which is like kind of Halloween-y and nice. Give it a shot. I think that these are gaming history, and I really hope that they're not forgotten.